So it seems like as if the final decision has been made by the SEC. We are going to be taking a look at the documents, as we do know that the lawsuit has now gone into the remedies related discovery stage, meaning that Ripple and the SEC, of course, have to both come to an agreement as to what they're going to be doing when it comes to this settlement. So we're going to take a deep dive into that. And BlackRock has some big news about a launch recently. I guess it is one that we should have actually kept an eye on, or perhaps it may have actually not sparked a question in you because you probably thought that it would already happen in general. And then of course we will be looking at the price action of both XRP and XLM coin today. So all I ask from you are two things, which is to like the video, it does help support the channel, and of course if you like the content, and also subscribe to the channel if you do want daily Ripple XRP coin news as well. And write down in the comment section below either how much XRP you hold or if you're having a good week so far. It is the Easter weekend, so we have a couple of days off from work, but if you are working, then I do feel sorry for you because it is going to be a busy couple of days. So let's first take a look at this. You can see over here that we have this screenshot of a document of the proposed final judgment. Now we're also going to be having a look at some other bits and pieces as well in this document, but you'll see over here that we know the SEC have now ordered for Ripple to be paying $2 billion. And I do think that it took a lot of people by surprise, particularly me, because I thought that we would be getting, for example, anywhere from maybe 20 million to upwards of $100 million in the fines. But still, we shouldn't even be getting fined in general because we know that the SEC has practically lost this lawsuit. But it seems like as if the SEC are not budging. So you'll see over here it says that the defendant shall satisfy this obligation by paying $1.9 billion to the SEC within 30 days after entry of this final judgment. And when we saw those predictions from the lawyers within the XRP space saying the fact that we could potentially be paying either $20 million, $50 million or $100 million, then it seemed like as if that we could actually get this over and done with. However, to get $2 billion but the SEC want from Ripple is obviously not something that Ripple is going to satisfy at all, especially because of the fact that the SEC have their heads in their clouds because they are not right with this lawsuit at all. And Jeremy Hogan also posted this as well, so we're going to take a look at this part of the motion. So he says over here, how backwards has the SEC got this? It wants $2 billion from Ripple, which would require Ripple to sell a lot of XRP, causing the price to drop, hurting the retail holder, which is you, and it would then disgorge the money back to rich institutional holders. Do you feel protected yet? Because of course the SEC is meant to actually be protecting investors and not actually harming them. But in general, I don't think that Ripple will actually be satisfying this. I definitely think that they're going to make their case and argue. So we have over here that Ripple will be unable to argue that its financial condition warrants a reduction. So the SEC are basically saying that Ripple can't say that, look, they don't have the money because of the amount that they're worth. So it says that Ripple's considerable wealth warrants a significant penalty that is not just a slap on the wrist or cost of doing business. And in this regard, not only are Ripple's approximate in current assets held as of December 31st, 2023, so are its vast amount of XRP holdings, worth more than $27 billion at March the 22nd, 2024 of the XRP's price. And while the penalty that the SEC requests is no doubt large, so is the enormous wealth of a defendant that is before the court, having been found to have violated the bedrock provision of the federal securities laws over the course of 8 years. Finally, Ripple's penchant for continuing to deflect blame for its own conduct supports a hefty civil penalty. Here, rather than correct its violations by providing disclosure, Ripple has chosen to avoid disclosure while deflecting blame for this conduct. Now, I'm not quite sure if we are both reading the same article because it seems absolutely vile what the SEC are actually accusing of Ripple doing. I mean, we did actually provide the evidence to the SEC in relation to, was it financial statements, I think, when the SEC wanted it, and that was backdated well before the lawsuit anyhow. So I think that Ripple have actually been quite cooperative with what the SEC want. So the fact that they're saying that they haven't been quite cooperative and that they have been more argumentative or actually not disclosing things just goes to show how sneaky the SEC are playing this, and they really are playing this game in such a bad way. But again, we'll have to see what comes out of this. We are towards the end of March now, so we're going to be beginning April very soon. But it seems like as if it's just going to be dragged on for some more time, especially now that we have this $2 billion fine in the mix. All the SEC's fault, to be honest with you, but I just didn't think it would even get to that point in general. So it seems like as if they're going through for the XRP holdings now because of the amount that Ripple are holding in general. We also have this piece of news coming in from BlackRock. So they are currently launching their first Ethereum-based tokenized fund. Well. I'm more than sure that we have actually thought that this would be happening, considering the fact that Larry Rock has spoken about tokenization coming in the future. And so it says over here that they've now launched its first tokenized fund on the Ethereum blockchain, and it will be their digital liquidity fund, and it's also known as this BUIDL, and it's fully collateralized by cash, US Treasury bills, and repurchase agreements. And you'll see over here that they have partnered with Securitize as a transfer agent and tokenization platform, and also BNY Mellon as the custodian of the fund's assets. And the fund's ecosystem also includes Enquiries Digital Bank NA, BitGo, Coinbase, and Flyer Blocks, which will provide the infrastructure to the fund. So I'm more than sure that you've heard of Coinbase, of course, but also BitGo is another one. I haven't heard of the other two. And we have from the head of digital assets at BlackRock saying that this is the latest progression of our digital asset strategy, and we are focused on developing solutions in the digital asset space that help solve real problems for our clients, and we are excited to work with Securitize. And so you can see that they now have that partnership, and they just launched their very first tokenized fund. So I'm more than sure that they're going to be having a lot more funds being tokenized. This is just the first step, but it really didn't surprise me that BlackRock are doing this, because they did say time and time again that it would be happening. And we know that tokenization, I think, is a $1 trillion industry as well. Of course, it is just going to make assets much more liquid, and so it will only be beneficial for the financial sector. Coming in from here, we have that Ethereum can do all kinds of stuff, including moving value, but some people in the industry look at that and say, why is Ether so slow to close a transaction? And well, maybe because it's trying to do too much. XRP is purely focused on value, and it can do Visa like TPS, that's your transactions per second. Obviously, being able to actually handle a high volume with that compared with Ethereum, when it can actually be much slower with the settlement times. Let's take a look at this video.
Ripple's meant to be a replacement for Swift and the messaging system those banks use, and other things like ACH they use to settle transactions. XRP is meant to be a digital way to move value, to move digital money, if you will. And it's really focused on that. So there are other cryptocurrencies, Ether is an example of something that can do all kinds of stuff, including move value. But there was, some people in the industry look at that and say, why is Ether so slow to close a transaction? Well, maybe because it's trying to do too much, or just trying to do so much, or it can do so much. XRP is purely focused on value. It can do, Visa like 1,500 transactions per second, and is really equipped to do things in a digital network that, as I described at the beginning of our talk, we don't have digital value right now. When you send someone a Venmo payment, they don't actually get the money for like 3 to 5 days. They might credit an account, but there's risk being taken by the company there, and that's why the fees are so high. When you use XRP, when one of our customers uses XRP to move money from Thailand to Spain, it happens in less than a minute or two, and it is very accurate and quick to do so, and it wouldn't be possible without that technology. We've seen customers show us product that they're doing developed on us, saying they'll let their customer go onto their iPhone or Samsung phone or whatever and say, I want to move this amount of money. You can move it right now using Ripple for this cost, or you can move it in 4 days for that cost. The only thing is, for us, it's so much, for using Ripple, it's so much cheaper that the app was, we want them to do that to make us look, to show how great our service is. But I don't know if they'll really have banks. Right now, all of our customers are still doing both. They're still using Swift and they're using Ripple's products. So, I don't know, I think that's true, actually. I don't know if anyone's 100% on us, but I would expect we will have customers that are only using Ripple's products, and some people like the way the world is.
And at the end of the day, I definitely think we are going to be seeing that teamwork, or perhaps maybe just partnership when it comes to Ripple and Swift. Yes, they can be competitors in a way, but still, I think that Ripple will be able to benefit from Swift if they are able to get their foot in the door, because again, they're both in the same industry, but Swift have been here for a long time. So I do think that Ripple should actually be coming into the space as some sort of new entry, but working with Swift. Now, let's take a look at the price action of XRP. So we are currently trading at 62 cents at 0.6254. We are down by 0.35% on the 1-day chart, but really isn't that much of a change. For the 24-hour volume, we are up by 3.94%. And we are trading at $1.8 billion. If we have a look at where we were trading just yesterday, you'll see over here we were at 0.6242. Now on the 29th, which is today, we did actually go to 61 cents at 0.6106, but the highest that we've gone to for the day is 0.6409. So we're able to move up by roughly around about 3 cents from this 61 cent mark. That's quite nice because my price target for XRP is 65 cents. On the 7-day chart, we are up by 1.87%, and we started off the week pretty decent. I mean, 61 cents is not too bad, but then we actually did hit this high on the 25th at 65 cents, at 0.659, just below the 66 cent mark. Unfortunately, we did actually go below though on the 28th of March, and we went all the way to 60 cents, so we lost roughly around about 5 cents in value. And now we've just basically come up by about 1 or 2 cents. On the 1 month chart, we are up by 2.61%. I mean, for XRP, if we go to the downside, then I'm looking for the support level at 59 cents. I don't want it to fall below that because it could potentially go to 57 cents, but we'll have to see what comes out of that. And then for the upside, I'm currently looking at 65 cents, which is only a 2.5 cent move from where we currently are as of now. And of course, after that, it will be 68 cents within that range. For the 24-hour volume, we are down by 17.22%, so it's important to note as we are now at 85.1 billion. So if we have a look at XLM, we are currently trading at this price point of 14 cents, which is pretty strong compared with XRP. On the 1-day chart, we are up by 2.3%, and on the 1 week, we are up by a nice 10.6%. And on the 1 month, we are up by 15.8%. We did actually reach the high of 16 cents. We've not been there before compared with, for example, 12 cents or 11 cents. So it was really good to see at the start of the week, we were at 12 cents. We moved to that 16 cent mark on the 11th of March, and now we've come back down, but only to about 14 cents, so by 2 cents in general. Still strong though for XLM, and I want it to be up and above the 12 cent range. If we can do that, then I'm happy with that price point. Guys, if you want daily Ripple XRP and still XLM coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.